and I talked to people across the state of Arizona. They said, had I blinked, I would have missed it. It didn't make any sound. It didn't disturb the air. It didn't make a sonic boom. And it was at least a mile across. And including the governor of Arizona saw this thing.
And he's a pilot.
And he's a pilot, and he's a former captain in the Air Force.
Okay, but on CNN, we had footage of that.
No, there's been no footage
you
of
had
it. There's
footage
no footage of
the
that.
flares.
Of the 10 o'clock flares. There's been no footage. I'm about to uncover some footage.
Let me get a break. Why do we presume that aliens, if they're out there, are so much smarter than we? It's an interesting question. We'll try for an answer. Phone calls, too, after the break.
Another civilization.
I don't know what it is.
That was Quinn that put that.
You and I agree.
We're back. Okay, calm down. All right, Stanton, a good point from an avid listener. We've lived through many administrations of this. We've lived through Johnson, Nixon, right? A whole bunch. We've had Republicans, Democrats, scientists.
Indeed, we have.
Nobody, all of them are covering up. Nobody, no official has ever said, I want to look into this.
Yes. As they say,
Jimmy Carter got Jimmy Carter on camera. I was the first person to get Jimmy Carter on camera saying that he tried to launch an investigation and he got nowhere. I got Gerald Ford as a phone interview.
How could a president
he did the same
get
thing.
nowhere?
He got nowhere.
He doesn't have a need to
Bill Clinton tried to make. Bill Clinton tried to launch an investigation.
So the CIA is hiding all this from presidents?
We don't know if it's the CIA. We don't know. It's some sort of quasi-government, quasi-military.
Well, here's the thing: the CIA hides stuff from the president. But that doesn't mean that they're extraterrestrials.
Well, why on this topic? Why Stanton on this topic? Would there be a giant cover-up?
Because it affects everything we think about ourselves. And as I said, if we make a declaration that indeed aliens are visiting, people are going to want to push for an earthling orientation. We have 300 million people.
What orientation? Say it again.
A new identity. Instead of as Americans, Chinese, Greek, Peruvian, whatever.
Identity. Okay.
Okay, who speaks for the planet? We're going to hold an election, right? But the Chinese have 1.3 billion. India's got 1 billion. We have 300 million.
There's a conspiracy
We're not going to give up that. They have a common goal to stay in power. That's what government is all about, Larry. You know that.
Look at it on a smaller scale. Look at like what happened with Five Simonton. Five Simonton made a joke out of that sighting that happened in 1997. He had one of his aides dressed up in an alien suit. This massive craft flies over the state of Arizona. The governor said there was mounting pressure from his constituents to get to the bottom of it. There's growing hysteria. He holds a press conference. He has his aide dressed up in an alien suit, makes a joke out of the whole thing. And the reason why he did that, and he told us 10 years later, is because they didn't know what it was. And people were freaking out.
I have an email from Ann in Duncan, Oklahoma. UFO conspiracy theorists say the U.S. government is conspiring to keep extraterrestrial contacts a secret. Why wouldn't aliens themselves make their presence known to the world? If they can travel light years to get here, they don't need government permission for anything. Don't you think they would do that, Seth?
Yeah, oh, well, of course they would. Look, you just have to look at the historical analogs, Larry. 1492, Columbus lands in America. 10 years later, Spain is sending 25 ships filled with colonists to the Americas. Now, if you'd asked the North American natives 10 years after Columbus, do you think we're being invaded? It doesn't matter what their military wanted to do, what the chiefs wanted to do. They knew they were being invaded. It's been more than 60 years since Roswell, and as far as I can tell, my flights still take off on time from the local airport. Nobody influence from the aliens whatsoever.
Why don't they come, James?
Well, here's the thing. I
don't talk to the squirrels in my backyard,
I asked this exact question to Edgar Mitchell, who's Apollo 14 astronaut, sixth man on the moon. I said, why won't they just land? He said, and he really looked at me and he said, well, think about it, James. Don't you think they want to, if you went to a distant world, don't you think you'd want to kind of just sit back and observe a little bit? And I'm not saying that's the case.
Why do they observe Wyoming and not Washington?
I'm just asking.
They do observe Washington.
Washington was buzzed in 1952. It was captured on radar, photographic evidence.
See, that's your
scrambled
claim.
Military. That's not a claim.
So
it's
what
a
do
fact.
you do? What do I do?
That's a fact.
Okay, what do I do as a civilian when the U.S. Air Force says, well, that was some flight testing we were doing and we covered it up? What
Well,
do you do when they declassify all these documents? There's all these things.
Okay, are they hiding this technology for 60 years?
I'm just
Maybe,
really
maybe they
scared.
are. But if they are hiding this technology, they shouldn't, because someone's in possession of technology that could really be beneficial to all of humanity. Because
But
it's not jet A.
exactly, yeah, so
whizzing
why
around
would
on.
they? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe it is alien visitation. I don't know. I can't prove that.
So, you know,
But
you
I
can
can't
go-
tell you why
I
the
can easily
cover-up.
demonstrate.
But you think aliens have visited here?
No question about it. It's not. The evidence is so powerful, and I wish that Seth, who, when he attended my lecture, admitted he hadn't read any of the 5 large-scale scientific
What do they want?
studies.
What do they
I'm
want,
talking
the aliens? Do you think? What do they want?
about. I got a whole long list. The bottom line
Give me a
is they're
couple
here to
things.
quarantine us.
Quarantine us.
Hey, we're a primitive society whose major activity is tribal warfare. I worked on fusion propulsion systems. Everybody in the neighborhood is going to know about fusion. That's what makes the stars work. Within a short time, we'll be able to take our brand of friendship, which everybody else calls hostility, out there. Remember, this is a planet that killed 50 million of our own kind.
So you're saying
in World War II.
the aliens are afraid that we will take over their technology?
Didn't say
You know what?
that.
This is all speculation right now,
I
guys.
said-
Why don't we start talking about the facts?
Okay, that's where we disagree, is on the facts.
Well,
So
Disagrees
pick
on the
one.
facts.
Pick
Have
a
you
fact.
looked at
I'm
Bloomberg's
just-
Special
yes,
Report 14,
sure.
Facts
the
are,
biggest study ever done?
We have government documents basically stating that these things exist. It's like,
Well,
we're not-
so
I'm
you
not
guys, have
screaming
you
from
been
the
to
hills.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base?
Of course
see
I
it.
have.
Yeah. So you can go. If you've been there, Larry, it's cool.
All
It's
kinds
really-
of areas you can't get into, Bill.
Everyone always talks about.
And I had
Yeah.
a clearance.
They don't show you an alien, do they?
No, just that when you I had security clearance for a while. Okay.
What would you do if you saw one of these things?
Oh, I would first of all, I would take a picture of it.
Okay, then what?
A good
Then
one.
what? Then what? Then what?
Then I would look at the picture carefully.
And then you'd laugh at yourself because no one would believe
Well,
you.
let me get a break. We'll be right back.
Okay, you guys.
We'll be right
it's
back.
quite a step.
It's
Quite
true.
a
No
step.
one will believe you.
We'll be right back. Is that a cow? We're back. I'm trying to figure out, is that a cow?
Those are cows watching UFOs.
Einstein's theory of relativity. You can't travel faster than light, right?
Yeah, but as you get close to the speed of light, time slows down. So you can go 39 light years in 6 months pilot time if you're at 99.99% of the speed of light. And we physicists make particles that go 99.999%.
Yeah, but they become infinitely massive. And
What
so-
about
but there's-
bending,
they don't get
warping,
quite
folding
there.
the
But
space-time
that's-
fabric? Brian
No,
Greene
no,
says you
exactly.
could probably
That's
do
much
that.
Losing
better.
me
You
now.
guys, no, but here's what I'm saying. That's a much better explanation that we don't
You
know
don't go
enough
from point A
about
to point
physics.
B,
I
you
love
fold the
that.
space-time fabric between
But,
2 points.
but Stan, you made a point before break that the U.S. Air Force will not let you see everything. I should hope not. I hope the U.S. Air Force has a
I'm
few
all
things
for
up their
security.
sleeve.
I had 14 years under security.
But that doesn't mean that the stuff that you can't see at, for example,
me-
the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum.
Let me get a
doesn't-
call in.
Let's get a
Is
call.
anything
New Orleans,
extraordinary.
hello.
Hi there, how you doing?
Hi.
I would like to know, how often are eyewitnesses given a polygraph to prove that they're telling the truth rather than making up a story just to be on TV?
Are they, James?
It's happened.
Sorry.
Are they giving polygraphs?
It has happened. Betty Hill passed one on national television.
Absolutely.
Seth, do you
If you
think...
want to pass a polygraph
Can I
test,
say
you
one
guys
thing about-
squeeze
Wait a
your
Wait a
toes.
minute, Seth, you're a skeptic. You think we'll ever know the whole story? Oh, well, we never know the whole story. Seth?
I
Earth
probably
to
can't
Seth?
hear us. Doggone it.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear
Will
my
we
name.
ever know?
Look, I think the whole story, you know what the bottom line is, Larry, is this. Stanton has some insight into alien sociology. He knows what they want. He has failed to convince the scientists of the world. And when he does that, you'll have real investigation into this, and it'll move
There have been
from
more.
the area of fantasy to real science. I'm waiting for that to happen.
It's
and I
SETI
don't know
that's the
why
fantasy.
he can't convince them.
Okay, well, here's the problem. I just got back from meeting with the French CNS. It's the French equivalent of NASA. And France has, I don't know if people know this, but France just released their UFO files, which basically confirms that UFOs are real. And there's
They
doesn't-
say that.
Yes. And they
France
say-
has announced
Okay,
that
CNES,
UFOs are
it's
real.
the head of CNES, just released 50 years of UFO files. And I went to interview the guy, Jacques Patnay, just recently, and I said to him, wow, this is amazing discovery. How
are
are
the pictures?
the French, reacting to this? He said, no one's jumping out of windows.
By the way, not only is no one jumping out of windows,
So,
it ain't a story. I ain't seen it.
England,
New York
it
Times
did get
printed
covered a
this?
little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. England,
Why not?
England, I don't know. England followed suit.
Because there's a
hold
lot
on.
of things
You guys had a little show about it. England followed suit and released their documents. So I asked him, I said, what would you like to say to the American government? And he said, don't be afraid to tell the people the truth.
Exactly. So you see stuff in the sky that you don't know what it is. That doesn't mean that
it's
they're aliens
It's
that are visiting.
60 years of technology with no wings,
But
no
if
tail.
France announces, Bill, that they're there, why doesn't that impress
Okay,
you?
what's there
It's
mean?
50 years of scientific study. That's what it is. It is. It's been
No, you
soil
guys-
sample analysis, photographic
When I
analysis.
was young, you couldn't make an
Radar
airplane without a
analysis.
vertical tail.
I'm just
Now
tell-
you can.
Well,
that doesn't mean that they're
These things have been
aliens.
seen in our
doing it.
eyes for 60. I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm saying they are disc-shaped
Phenomena
craft.
that
There
we
are
don't- yeah,
physical
okay.
phenomena that defy physics as we understand it today, and it can be
You're
easily
a
demonstrated for
physicist.
the
Do
last
they
60
defy
years.
physics?
No, it means we don't know how to duplicate it yet.
Oh.
That doesn't mean that it's impossible.
I didn't say it's
it means, look, I worked on fusion propulsion systems. That's what goes on in the sun. A lot of energy per pound of material. Back in 40 years ago, Larry.
Still
we
doesn't
haven't
work.
built a big system yet because it takes a lot of money and effort. When I was
I
working
think
on
you're changing
nuclear
the subject.
airplane.
Guys, we're out of time. Thanks.
All right.
Another in our series
I
of
remain
programs,
skeptical.
Searching for an Answer. Go to CNN.com/Larry King for transcripts, ringtones, photo galleries, and more. Don't forget about tonight's vote. Is the United States government hiding knowledge of UFOs? And we've got a UFO commentary from the former Arizona governor. Our latest podcast, Barack Obama, is all ready for downloading. You can also sign up for our newsletter or cell phone text alerts. It's all at CNN.com/Larry King. Anderson Cooper AC 360 starts right now.